everybody, and welcome to another episode of Mostly Wrong Opinions. I am Tyrone, that is Devin. What we're about to do is continue this train of Zoe Zhao, okay? And it was one of the highly acclaimed, award-winning movies of 2020. It is Nomadland.
You are one of those lucky people that can travel anywhere.
Yes, ma'am, I know.
And they sometimes call you nomads.
Broadly, this movie takes place in 2012, right after the Great Recession. The recession's finally over, or like finally starting to end, or is it? That's kind of the big part of this film. And we follow this woman named Fran, who during the Great Recession, she lost everything. Her husband died, her whole town went under because the one industry in the town went under, so the whole town of Empire just collapsed, became a ghost town, and she lost her house. And so she has been living out of a van, and she's been traveling from place to place in this van. It's about a year in her life living in this van, traveling around the country. Last
film with Eternals, Devin was bored out of his mind. In this film, I was bored out of my mind, okay? but here's the thing. The thing that I appreciated about this film, it felt like a documentary.
That's exactly right. I was just about to say that exact same thing.
It felt like a documentary. It felt like she wrote a script for Frances McDormand and placed her in the real world of what nomads are. And it is a obscure, hard living, don't think I could do it type of thing, because I've seen those type of things of kind of feels like homelessness in the world, but they did answer that little phrase of I'm not homeless, I'm houseless, and it's different.
Right, that's exactly right.
There's just a lot that's going with this film where I felt very like, why should I care? Why should I care, Chloe, of these things that's going on with this character? Why?
She seems to live a very hard life. It's very lonely, very difficult. Sometimes it seems to be humiliating. Like the Chloe Zhao keeps having this character be interrupted doing like really embarrassing things. Like she'll be on the toilet taking a shit and someone knocks on her door, or she'll be like, I don't know. I think one time she was in a store and she was like messing around. She had like a net in her head, and someone made her turn around. She's like, oh, so she has like no privacy, even though she lives by herself. It seems to be like a very tough, hard life. And like you said, this movie is shot kind of like a documentary. Like I would like to see what the script was. Like I wonder if the script had like actual lines, or if it just had like moments and beats that they were supposed to hit. People will like mumble their lines, or they'll like do weird things that you would never see happen in the film, like turn their back to the camera and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there seems to be like all the lighting seems like it's natural, like it's being shot with like one light bulb, or maybe the sun, or a fireplace, or something like that. So it kind of feels like you kind of feel like a voyeur almost, like looking at while watching this lady travel the country and live her life. And you would think she would absolutely hate it, because it's a very melancholy movie. Like she's like very sad and kind of downtrodden, but she seems to be at her purest, her happiest, I guess, when she's on the road, because she's given opportunities to settle down. But I think she's
like, nah, I'm cool.
Right. She can't get comfortable. I think she feels like settling down is like, or like, and staying in one spot, it feels dangerous to her. It feels fragile. It feels like, oh, this could collapse at any moment. And she feels like, it might even be boring to her. So she likes being, out on the road by herself.
On the road again.
Yeah, that's right. Getting these like random jobs. Sometimes she works for Amazon. Sometimes she works for like this place. I guess they're like digging up rutabagas, or I don't know, some sort of root vegetable. I don't know. Like,
yeah, it looked like
she seemed to really enjoy it.
To me, it looked like cow shit, like really huge, like mounds of cow shit.
No, I think it's some sort of root vegetable. Yeah.
Yeah, that she worked there. She worked at a donut place. She worked at like a place where they pick out stones and wash them and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. She did all kinds of weird stuff.
Yeah, and you know, it's just survive out here on the road. And one of the things that you mentioned briefly just a minute ago is about her being afraid that staying in one place, it was just going to collapse for her. These people that she at one point will travel with, the leader of this group is explaining about how the world's infrastructure, you know, is built to collapse.
Right.
You know, so he's like, why would we want to be around that? We can just live off of what God given us.
Right.
You know?
And while he's saying this, there's like an American flag waving in the background. So
Yeah.
it was shot really cleverly, you know. And there's another sequence where she is, I think she's at her sister's house because her sister wants her to just live with her and not live on the road. Because everyone looks at her like she's homeless, you know, and everyone's trying to help her, and she's like, no, I'm not homeless, I'm fine. But anyway, she's like at her sister's house, and her sister has some friends over or family, I don't know. And they're in the real estate business, and they're like, yeah, real estate's coming back, and we can finally get ready to sell houses. And she just gets mad. You know, she's like, what do you mean it's back? It's back because you get to prey on people and take take money that they don't even have yet, put them in debt for years so they can live in a house they can't afford. And she got really upset about it.
It's strange that you encourage people to invest their whole life savings, go into debt, just to buy a house they can't afford.
I mean, we're not all in a position to just chuck everything and hit the road.
Oh, you think that's what I've done, George? I chucked everything to hit the road? Is that what I did?
So again, I think those kind of moments show how she feels about like settling down and living in a house. And she's like a nomad.
Those are the interesting writing beats of this film. I was just very bored with her performances. I was just bored, man.
Yeah, the movie really depends. Chloe Zhao really picked up this movie and put it on Frances McDormand's back. And she is, of course, a fantastic actress. I think she's won multiple Oscars at this point. And the movie lingers on her face a lot. And so the movie hinges on, you know, a little like eyebrow lift, so you understand how she feels, little twitches, you know, little, you know, downcast eyes, so you can understand how she feels. No one actually says things explicitly, right? You just kind of have to like, I mean, it just feels like natural. It feels like you're watching someone react in real life to news or a lack of news or boredom, and you know, so the whole movie really depends on Frances McDormand's performance. And if you're the kind of person who, you know, if you need a little bit more than that, I totally understand why you might think it was slow, because it's also a very quiet film, and there are these long sequences, especially in the beginning, where it's wintertime because it's New Year's. The movie begins and kind of ends on New Year's, where she's just like shivering in her car, and she's just sitting there shivering, and that's the sequence, you know. And so if that's not your cup of tea, I can totally understand that.
The scenery in this film is beautiful. Like you go from like the cold lands of where she is, and then she goes to the dry lands of
the desert.
Alaska, desert. She goes like this rainforest type of thing where she's like laying butt ass naked in the water. I'm like, cover yourself up with a pedal or something. God, there should be like, you know, animals watching you. You know,
she goes to like the redwoods and to the beach, and
which is beautiful to any person that you know, like, I want to take a vacation around the United States. But she's like, this is my 24/7 year-round every year thing that she wants to do.
Yeah, this is just like her everyday life.
In my viewing of that, is she running away from all of her pain?
Right. And she doesn't seem to have a straight answer for that either. The answer seems to be kind of like, it seems to be her own answer in her head, because you're right, she does seem to be running away from that feeling of settling down, which she had when her husband was alive, and then she lost everything, so she doesn't want to lose everything again. She does seem to be running away from that. But at the same time, like we said earlier, she's got plenty of opportunities to settle down. Some of them are fantastic. She can live in this guy's guest house. She can live with her sister, who seems to be pretty well off. She's given lots of opportunities. Even like some friends are she runs into in Target or something, they try to help her. but she turns it down because she seems to be genuinely uncomfortable, like in the house. So is she running away, or is this something that's always been part of her? Because her sister says this is something she's been doing since she was a kid, and she's only ever settled down when she got with her husband. So, I get it. And there's also another character in the film where because like you said, you wonder, you're like, why is she doing this? What's up with this? Who would do this? There's another character in the film who we learn is dying. She's got terminal cancer, and she's talking about the things she's seen in her life, and everything that she's seen that she enjoyed, it was on the road, right? She talked about the birds that she saw and the eggshells in the water and all this stuff, and how she thinks her life was totally worth it. And the idea of going home and settling down to sit in the hospital, she'd rather kill herself, So like, is she running or is she not? I don't know. And the movie doesn't give you straight answers, and it's not interested in giving you straight answers.
She even turned down a new relationship with a good guy who really liked every aspect of her, and she's like, nope, not for me.
And maybe it would be a relationship, maybe not. And he seemed to be cool with it either way. Like he seemed to be like a decent guy. Like he wasn't pushy about it. He was, if she wanted something more, okay. If not, he seemed to be cool with that too, because he was happy living with his family. So
is that the same actor who always said, "Oh my God, that's Jason Bourne"?
That's it.
What is that? Oh shit! What is that?
Jesus Christ. That's Jason Bourne.
That's him. But the movie starts again. I mean, it kind of depends because it's so quiet. It depends on a lot of symbolism and things like that. And I think what's symbolic of this film, the symbolic moment that defines the whole film, is early on. It's like wintertime, and she is like dumping her piss out of her camper, out of a pot. She literally has a pot to piss in, And while she's dumping her piss, a little dog walks up. And she's like, oh, what? And so she picks up the dog and she takes it to the camper like office, and she's like, hey, I found this dog. And the camper office is like, oh yeah, that's so-and-so's dog. They had an emergency and they had to leave, and they left their dog. Do you want him? And she's like, no, I don't. And she ties up the dog, pats him on the head, walks away. And that's kind of and yeah, that's right. And that dog is kind of like her, right? The dog, a terrible accident happened, and the dog lost everything, and the dog moves on to an uncertain future, just like her. And it's just the dog's just kind of maybe the dog will get picked up and go to a loving home, or maybe it'll be out there in the snow. I don't know. And that's that kind of uncertain future, that uncertainty follows her around every day.
I'm gonna go ahead and give my rating for this film now. Knowing that Chloe directed this, and seems like this is more in her wheelhouse, in her pocket when it comes to the natural lighting, natural visual effects, like great close-up shots of characters. Like the camera is not moving all willy-nilly and snap cuts or anything like that.
It's like the camera's handheld the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I don't know if it actually is, but it looks like it.
Yeah, and it's not shaky cam.
No.
So there's no fighting in this thing. Right. Jason Bourne. Nothing. Right. So and the and the scenery is extremely beautiful. But the thing with me is, it's like her acting was good. I don't think she deserved no Oscar for that shit. But I mean, she literally shit in a bucket. She did. Anybody, I'd be like, hey man, give me my Oscar, cuz, with some toilet paper on the side.
That's funny.
Charming. Because of that, and plus I was bored through this. Maybe it was meant to bore me, but I did understand the where Chloe was trying to go, where she was trying to get the comparisons for her living situation and how she got into this, and where she doesn't want to belong anymore, and where she wants to be. So I'm giving it an 8.
An 8? Okay. Yeah, I totally understand why this wouldn't be in everyone's wheelhouse. It is slow. It is not interested in telling a conventional style story. I'm not even sure what the structure of this thing is. Like it doesn't have like like your regular typical structure of a film. It's very it feels very loosey goosey. Like again, like I'm very interested to see what the script is, if there even is one, because it feels like people are speaking improv. You know, that's kind of that's kind of how the film is shot. And I thought was funny was there's a Marvel nod in this film, which I thought was funny because she goes to the movies to see the Avengers. And I was like, that's funny.
Avengers, yeah.
The
marquee.
Right. So all that being said, I did like this movie, but it's very sad, very melancholy. This is not, if you're in a good mood, don't check this one out. You know what I'm saying? Like this will kill it. This is a sad, melancholy film. You're not sure exactly if you should be happy for her or if you should pity her. You know, it's not really sure. Kind of in this like gray area.
See, if this was real life for me, leave her ass alone.
And some people do.
Alone.
And some people do. So you give it an 8. I like your 8, and I'm gonna second it. I'm gonna give it an 8 as well. This is not everyone's cup of tea. So that being said, I don't think I can recommend this for everyone. But if you are into like, it's not even really like a slow burn. It's kind of like a slow, ethereal, kind of floaty movie. If
ethereal,
yeah. if that's something that sounds like it's up your alley, then okay, this movie's probably really for you. If you're more interested in Marvel films, then yeah, this ain't it. And I don't know why Marvel thought. I mean, I guess I kind of understand why Marvel thought Chloe Zhao might be an interesting fit for a Marvel film because of their success with Ryan Coogler, because he came from kind of the same kind of area. But this is a strange pick to do the Eternals.
Yeah, she ain't Ryan.
Yeah, clearly her skills. She has other skills. She's clearly a very skilled filmmaker. But this like big budget studio stuff, no. She seems to excel with a small, teeny tiny budget with something like Nomadland.
A group of actors that's around each other that can really dig into the script that she made. Yeah, you know,
like if you're an actor, I bet Chloe Zhao that's your girl. You know, this is like it's like an actor's paradise. You know what I mean? She will push right into your face and look at every little twitch and muscle and under your skin. Yep. You know, every little glance. You know, if you're an actor, I mean, I bet you actors
she's like
line up to work with her. Yeah. I bet you they'd be lined up for her because it feels like a small art house type deal. So I bet you this is like an actor's paradise. Now with your Oscar stuff, yeah, this is an interesting pick for the Oscars to win like as much as it did. I think it won Best Picture
and Best Directing and Best Actors. Those are the biggest awards.
And
it didn't win for writing though.
Okay, yeah. Again, I don't even know what the script could look like for this thing. So, but this is pure Oscar bait. Like I get it. I understand why the Oscars, which was interested in this. Put your mind in the mind of an Oscar of the Academy. Pretend like you are an old white man who's lived rich his whole life, right? And who's highly influential. You'd want to seem worldly. You'd want to seem smart and better than everyone else. And this movie is a good movie for that, you know? So while I didn't dislike this movie, I could totally see why someone like that might be into
dignity.
Yeah, that's right. Might be into this film.
I gave this movie an 8. Devin gave this movie an 8. It is a super duper slow burn of what? Ethereal?
Ethereal,
serial, all that. And Chloe, stay away from Marvel, man.
I've met hundreds of people out here, and I don't ever say a final goodbye. Let's just say I'll see you down the road. And I do. I see them again. And I can be certain in my heart I'll see you again.
Thank you for clicking on this video, man. We really do appreciate it. You know, we do have a lot of things going on right now that's on the channel. Like our previous 2 episodes. One of them was with Last Night in Soho, directed by Edgar Wright. And the other one was a Halloween episode, and also we got our What If episodes, and those is going well. And Loki episodes, and we will be doing our Hawkeye reactions. So if you want to see these two guys react to those, you're gonna have to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right. Hit the subscribe button. And remember, every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over here in the US of A, we drop a new episode, all right? So go ahead, hit the subscribe button. You won't regret it. Now, regret it. I don't know. You won't regret it. And but what you can do, you can leave a like on this video if you did like our movie review of Nomadland, or you can leave a thumbs down if you want to, whichever one you want to do. It is your opinion, because you do have opinions, but just remember one thing: it's mostly wrong, like everybody else's. Jesus. Have a good one.